Yes, yeah, that's it. Slagging Meslier off. That's what we are doing. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock podcast. We talk about Leeds United when we do get together, and it's a very warm welcome to 2025 to Barney, LUFC 21. Barnes, are you okay? You
Aye,
all
aye.
right?
Happy New Year.
Everything's still in the right place?
Yeah.
Uh,
What's Ewan
and
doing?
what's
Just
Ewan
snorting.
doing?
Snorting.
Putting his eyes back in?
Eyeball
LSD,
Paul.
LSD straight back into the fucking eyelids. I
That's gonna.
haven't seen you two. I haven't seen you two for a while. That's what I need to get me through this next hour.
Excellent. So we'll be talking
Really
about.
professional. Should have really done that before
Yes,
you came on air. But I didn't.
yes, no,
Hello.
that's fine. Yeah, liquid LSG. Who wouldn't want? Who wouldn't need it? You just need a couple of these now, and then
Microdot. Yeah, we're off.
Leeds.
Let's go.
Right. So Illan Meslier will be talking about any other January window stuff we should be doing, like for example a set piece coach or a number 10. And of course, Farquhar is here press conference today, and he informed us that Patrick Bamford, notoriously reliable for his fitness, is unfortunately injured. So a big surprise, and massive shock to all of us. And Max Ferber is also struggling. But Ilya Gruev is back in training, which is really good because as we've seen Ampadu come back, he's made a big difference, I think. So I think Gruev can. I think we've missed him a little bit as well. But I guess the main elephant in the room is the lad who butters up his gloves before every game. So should we talk about Meslier? Barney, do you want to go first? Do you have because you're the happy clapper, aren't you? So maybe we do because everybody's had a go at Meslier. So let's hear your positivity.
I mean, I've defended him, but you can't defend him anymore. You just can't do it. He's 24, 25 now. He's regressing than what he was, what we were expecting from him. I mean, the stuff that he was good at before was playing the ball out. He can't even do that anymore. His decision making is shocking. I mean, the mistakes he's made this season are just comical. I mean, that one against Hull and the players' reaction after just says everything about that. And I was listening to John Newsom on Radio Leeds, and he said that when you've got a dodgy keeper behind you, you start to feel a little bit less confident in the way you're going to play as a defender. So if you've got that as a team that's wanting to not just win the championship, but to get promoted as well, it's not good. It's not good at all. And you can go. I don't think we're going to be replacing him in January. I'd be a massive shock if we did, but I just don't have any confidence in him as a player whatsoever now. Nothing.
Yes, indeed. So 17th in the championship for goals prevented, minus 1.73 goals prevented. As in he's let in or he's conceded at least 2 goals that he shouldn't have. 18th in the championship for save percentage. It's not looking very good for old Meslier on the old statistics, is it, Matt?
No, I think the stats tell their own story, but you look at it with your fucking eyes as a football fan. He's just awful. And we've been saying this. Certainly, I've been saying it for a long time that he's regressed, as Barney said. And in his defence, I think his distribution, certainly short and quick distribution, has got a lot better than it was. He had a real patch where he just couldn't do anything. Well, so there is parts of his game that have kind of improved. That's where I'm going to finish on the positives. The negatives are, he conceded 3 goals, which I'd say 2 were his fault against Portsmouth. I mean, these are the lowest scoring teams in the league, Portsmouth and Hull. I'd say that at least 2 at Portsmouth were his fault, and I'd say all 3 were his fault. Now, I'm not saying that Verber wasn't to blame for the first one a little bit, and people are saying that we should have marked the lad who scored the first and third goal. On the third goal, he should have been better marked, because nobody's expecting. If you watch Meslier on the third goal, and this is without covering the second goal, which is the one that turns the game around and gives the momentum back when the game's done. he goes to punch a ball that he's never getting to and doesn't even jump properly and jumps into the back of Rodon, who I reckon probably could have headed the ball away. And that's how the ball ends up at a lad's feet that should never get it. I mean, I think the way I've described it, the second goal's a fucking embarrassment for a kid to give that kind of goal away on a Saturday morning. He's going over the bar and he's flipped it back into play. It's one of them that most keepers go up with one hand and just, flip it over just to make sure if they're in any doubt. Everything about him's wrong. And I think the most unforgivable thing is it's not just ability. I think it's a focus, concentration, and effort. Fucking lacking in all of those things, and that there's no excuse for that. I describe when Barney said, about John Newsom, and I've played at a decent level, and when you've got a poor keeper behind it does change the way you play. And I describe Meslier as playing goalie when Ned. So I don't know if you ever used to play goalie when needed, when the keeper could work. If you were a defender and your goalie was out, you had to play differently. You couldn't let a shot get off. You couldn't let a cross get in. You really had to work hard to make sure nothing got anywhere near the goal. That's the way our defence is playing. Now, I've said in a way that's benefited us because we're not letting shots get off. But the point being, the minute there's a shot on target, he's conceded something like 5 goals from the first shot on target, I think, this season. So it's embarrassing. And the fact that, it's been like that for quite a long time. We haven't replaced him. We've looked to replace him. We've got rid of Klassen, who looked good when he came in. We've got rid of Caprile, who went to Napoli. He's played when Mertens is not fit, and he's done okay. He's kept clean sheets and stuff. I'm not saying they're the answer. I don't think Darlow's the answer, which is the worry that we haven't done anything to replace or to strengthen that area. And let's be frank, highest scoring goal team in the league, we're doing okay at the top end, even though people talk about a 10 and we need a proper striker. If we had anything decent in goal, if we had any other goalkeeper out of the top 6 teams in that league in our net, we'd be 7 points, 8 points clear. It's that simple.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, 3 rivals for promotion, so Sunderland, Blunt, and Burnley. So Sunderland have their goalkeeper has saved 2.5 goals. Sheffield United's goalkeeper has saved 5 goals, and Burnley's goalkeeper has saved 6.7. So that's on expected goals conceded minus goals allowed. And if you look at Burnley, obviously very, very strong defensive team. They've conceded 20.8 expected goals. So that's the number of goals that you would expect they would have conceded. What they've actually conceded is 9. And we've conceded more than so when you look at I think it's like 19, yeah. So 19 goals that we've conceded. So just a couple less than what Burnley were expected to. But you're talking, because some of those games, I mean, the 5 goals conceded from the first 6 from the first shot on target. We know the statistics for Leeds under Daniel Farke is if we score first, we don't lose. And I think it's been something like 50 games now where we've either won or drawn. So that statistic is massively important. And then if you look at how much better those teams are playing because of their goalkeeper, it's not just his commanding presence. We're really bad at set pieces. You can't just blame that on Meslier. But it flows throughout the whole team. It's contagious, and John Newsom was talking about that as a defender. But if you're a striker or if you're a winger and you've been running around the whole game, I mean, strikers in this system will run more than anybody else, and you've scored 3 goals away from home, and it's still not enough. What's that going to do to you psychologically?
The Hull don't score goals. They're a low-scoring team. They're delighted to score 3, and he's given them 2, certainly, then possibly 3. And the point being, Portsmouth, like I said, the same. You look through the mistakes he's made this season. I watched the reel. I mean, most keepers have a highlight reel or whatever. He has a fucking bloopers reel, all of his own in a season. I mean, he could have his own, worst keeper competition all on his own. I think that some of the mistakes he makes are the kind of mistakes that a keeper might make. Look at Sunderland, look at Hull. That might be once a season. You might make that mistake. He's doing 4 or 5. And we have, somebody said to me the other day, we probably should be 4 points better off. Behave yourself. Preston, Blackburn, Portsmouth, Sunderland, Hull. It's miles more than 4. It's into your double figures easily that we should be better off points wise, and that is the difference between winning that league and ending up in the playoffs. The problem you've got now is, what do you do? Do you roll the dice and drop? I don't think he can play anymore. That's my opinion. I'm not massively confident in Darlow now. The only saving grace for Darlow is that he's Welsh and he plays with Ampadu and Rodon and I watched that Turkey game. I think he was man of the match. That's what I was going to say about Meslier. If you look at Trafford, is it Trafford
James
at
Trafford,
Burnley,
yeah.
isn't it? And if you look at Pears at Blackburn, if you look
Stoke.
at the lad that, yeah, exactly the lad that we could
The
have
highest performing keeper
who was at
in the
Stoke.
Championship.
Correct. So we could have had for next to nothing in the close season. We didn't bother. You look at some of the keepers, the performances that they're putting in. You certainly look at Sheffield United, Cooper and Trafford. They're getting man of the matches in games. When's the last time Meslier got man of the match? Leicester away last season. Liverpool in Premier League when we won.
When they had 9
Somerville
shots from
scored a goal.
outside the area.
Unbelievable. That's not right. Even though we're a really good team and we don't concede a lot of chances, every so often he should bring out an absolute whirlwind of a performance and potentially. Nobody even talks about that, and it's partly because he's inactive. But I think he lacks focus and concentration, and because he's inactive, often the first shot that is on target goes in. He gets beat on his near post. You look at the Everton goal when we got relegated. Fucking no keeper lets that in apart from him. He's a bottom half Championship keeper, and we're trying to get promoted automatically and win the league with a keeper that's not fit for purpose. It's that simple. And you can't keep defending. Barney's probably the one out of all of us 3 that keeps banging the drum and And I don't like digging individual players out. That I've said it before, but there's no excuse anymore. He's terrible, and I think there's something underlying. I don't know what it is, but he lacks the athletic mentality, the capability to be a top class professional sportsman. I absolutely 100% back that. And he's 25. People say he's young. He's still learning. Is he?
Yeah.
When do you see he's being young as a keeper? When he's
had
been
200 appearances for Leeds United. Yeah, he's 25 is young for a goalkeeper. Yeah, but they're goalkeepers that have probably playing a bit part in the first team. But 200 appearances, it's not good enough.
Look at the size of him. He's fucking massive. He gets near nothing. He catches nothing. He doesn't stop anything that goes towards the goal. In a corner. He does nothing that a good keeper, a decent keeper with 200 appearances, whatever his age is, would do. I mean, you watched that lad last night for Spurs, who they've just bought in, confident, capable, competent, capable of playing long passes, short passes, stopping the ball, making himself big. It doesn't matter what your age is or how many performances you've got. You're either good or you're not. He's no good. He needs dropping out of the team, and I'd be surprised to. I'd be surprised if we ever saw him again. But it's just that there's a negligence around the owners of the club. We needed a 9 for ages. We didn't get one. We needed a left back for ages. We didn't get. It just takes too long. There's other clubs that are moving in the transfer market now and have moved a lot quicker than Leeds, who have less buying power, probably less draw, less money. Haven't brought in the kind of money Leeds have over the close season, who are doing bits. Why we didn't get that keeper from Rotherham for whatever it was, £1 million or whatever, is beyond me. Because even just to put pressure on Meslier and make him think, right, I'm going to have to step up here, because if I don't, I've got a keeper that's capable of coming in. He's become complacent. You can see that in his performances and the way he carries himself. The Sunderland game where he lets a goal into, that would have been a huge result for us, and we deserved to win that game. And he's laughing and joking with their coach after. There's just something not right with him mentally, and I can't wear it anymore. It made me feel sick. It made me feel sick after the Sunderland game. It made me feel sick after the Hull game. I'm sat watching it thinking, game's done, 3-1, we're in, 3 points, amazing, particularly after the start we had. I didn't think we played well. I think that's been coming, that some of the results have been coming, but to get away with one and go 3-1 up when the game's finished, their heads are down, not even in the game. And him to give them the game back and change the momentum completely from one player again is just inexcusable. Nobody can defend him or talk around it anymore. It's
Yeah,
unacceptable.
yeah. I think it's you know what it is it's like holding on to hope and not seeing reality and not being decisive. When he first came in, he was much better than he is now. He's regressed.
Yeah.
And then because he showed those levels of performance for years, we've been waiting for him to improve and sort of meet his sort of expand on those initial great performances and sort of reach his potential. He's regressed. He's gone backwards in terms of
Yeah.
the frustrations. It's the near post. Shots at the near post. I mean, as a goalkeeper, he cannot, it's really weird. Like he just doesn't get his hands in the right place. It bounces off his chest and goes in. Like, it goes through his hands.
Stuff goes through him. That's what I was about to say. The Portsmouth one's a great example. Near post, beating on his near post, and one goes through him in the same game, not in the same season, the same game.
He doesn't have the
It's
doesn't have
tragic.
the experience to command his area. He's sort of like a quiet soul. He's quiet and he's a bit too quiet and he's a bit too calm. And when he does get aggressive, it doesn't alter anybody's game at all. Whereas you've got certain keepers who are experienced, they're hardy, they command their box. That has an psychological impression on strikers who don't think they're going to be able to beat him. That has an impression, psychological and a performance related improvement on his defence. Because if they're in the wrong position, all of a sudden you've got a goalkeeper who's telling you, get in the right position. You sort of wake up yourself and go, oh, okay, switch on and focus and go. So a good goalkeeper has a lot of elements that I don't think he has. And yeah, it's time. I mean, we've been, you know, last season, right? So Farker talked in his press conference about Meslier getting in the team of the championship last season, and that it was a big deal because it wasn't some internal Leeds United goalkeeper of the year or whatever. It was an independent panel. I don't know what they've been watching. I don't know what stats they were looking at. If they were just looking at clean sheets, if they were just looking at Leeds having the best defensive record in the championship, because we know why
100%.
Farker's Leeds is so good at defending. It's because they set up in a very, very boring way, which we've also at one point or another got frustrated at, with 700 passes across the back four. And so teams, can't get many shots on target on it. We strangle games and we rob the life out of them. And opposition teams don't get the chances, don't create quality chances. So that's why we've got so many clean sheets. We've also got a lovely, magic box with the two defensive midfielders and the two centre backs, and all four of those players and the lads who've come in at DM when Grove and Ampadu got injured have been outstanding, probably the best in the championship in terms of midfield. So he's got so much protection. That's another frustration is we concede
But he needs it.
two chances.
He needs
and that's exactly it.
Yeah,
That's exactly it.
Yeah, and we're playing. People talk about Fark's system, and you think, well, he can't surely watch him in training and think he's the answer. I don't know. Is he picking a team based on the fact that he knows he can't have 20, 30, 16, 15, 20 shots going in at Meslier every game? So actually, is his system being dictated by the fact that the best keeper he got, as we've already said, is in the bottom half of the league for performance? But he's got to play differently. He's got to have that protection, that screen in front of him, hasn't he? We all know that. So yeah, it's a very strange situation to be in when you've got a team that if you went through from front to back would probably have a player in contention for top 3 or 4 in the division in virtually every position apart from the goalie. Because actually the goalie is, and this is what we were saying about, let's move on to the January thing. We've got to do something about it. If he doesn't trust Darlow enough to put him in instead of him, we've got to buy a goalkeeper in January. It's that simple, because it's the difference between, in my opinion, going up, certainly not doing very well in a playoff. Playoff games rely on your spine of your team being really good, don't they? That's what the kind of almost like a cup game, isn't it? If we go into the playoffs with a Meslier in goal, I know what's going to happen. I know now what's going to happen. I'm almost at the point of saying, I know we won't finish in the top 2 if we don't replace him, because he's going to cost us more. I mean, he's kind of had a bit of a quiet start to the season in a lot of respects. Even though we've said all the things that we've said, nobody really chastised him for Portsmouth. Nobody really chastised him for, I know the Sunderland game was a kind of bit of a freak one, but I think he got away with it a little bit. I still think he's to blame for that. So he's kind of got away with it, and he's got, he's not getting away with this. I mean, not just us and other fans are saying it. His own teammates overtly displayed how disappointed they were with him in real time in the game. So he's only going to get worse if that's possible. His confidence and his kind of command of his area and his communication with his teammates is just going to get worse. And we're taking that into a run-in, which is going to be really tough. And it's going to be competitive, and we've already thrown away too many points to be, last season when we went on that amazing run of winning games and things, we kind of thought we're on it now. This is the momentum we've got, and you've seen how easy it is to change. This is going to have a really big impact on our next 10 or 15 games, which are the most important now of the season. And I'm really worried. It worries me that they haven't. That they're still contemplating going into the back end of the season. We can't afford another season in this division if we really want to compete again at the top level. That's a fact, and we've got one of the worst keepers in the league. It's just they're going to have to, if the 49ers are based in this data-based purchasing and data analysis, and surely they're looking at that and thinking we need to do something. There must be keepers out there that are not going to cost a fortune, that are going to improve the team. In fact, we had one, didn't we, in the close season for the guy from Rotherham who's now at Stoke, who's outperforming lots of people in a poor team. So it's just crazy. I find it slightly negligent of the 49ers and the board that we're still having these conversations.
I think for me is that the confidence in him. I think that the season we got relegated absolutely broke him, because we were letting so many goals in, and that must be so demoralising for a goalkeeper, letting so many goals in all the time. But the real issue for me is that teams are going to see, on paper, we have the best squad in that league. But in games, teams are going to see that our weakness is our keeper. So what they're going to do, the simple stuff, getting high balls in, getting corners in, crosses, all sorts, just simple stuff that they know he's going to make a mistake, because that's what you do. Once you make those mistakes, it sort of like eats you inside, that you start, right, I need to do it better. And then the more you try, the more you do things worse. And that's the real issue for me is, and you've got players that, like you said, the way we came out in the second half against Hull, and I thought in the first half, this is just another away game where we're going to lose this and just peter out. But in the second half, we're like, right, game on, 2-1, 3-1. And then at 3-1, we were cruising. It could have been 4 or 5-1. But as soon as we let that goal in, all the players thought, fucking hell, here we go again. And then it gets in their heads. They're thinking, right, we need to make sure we keep on hold of the ball. And they start to panic and start to go away from how they're meant to be, what they were told to do in the second half. And that's the real worry. And Leeds fans they will forgive players when they make a mistake. But I think people have lost the patience now. And as soon as he makes a mistake at Ellen Road, they'll be on him straight away, and it's not a nice place when fans are on your back straight away. And it's a shame, because he was a keeper that got us promoted, but he just needs to have a step back and not be in the limelight anymore. and albeit by we got Allardyce in, but that's what he did. He got him off, got him out of the limelight, and just got plays. I can't remember who he played now. Who did he play? Oh, it was
thingy, what's
Spanish
he called?
lad.
Who's on loan?
Yeah,
Robles, Joe.
and that's what he needed to do. And I think, to be fair, also as well, maybe the club that's it. Yeah, I think the club have relied on him too much as a young keeper. We've relied on him too much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's good enough. He's been put in the good enough box and sort of forgotten about. So a few of your comments then. Who's making the frog noises?
I was about to say, I was giggling because I could hear that and your voice sounded really high pitched. I thought, what's wrong with Donny? Is he fucking being on helium or what? You got me on LSD.
He's on the balloons.
So it must be
so that was the AirPods then. So do I sound better now?
That's better,
Am I okay now? Yeah.
You sound normal.
Normal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. New contact lenses. That was you, I think.
No, not me. No, fuck that. I don't wear contact lenses.
Dry eyes.
I'm literally dropping LSD into my eyes as we speak.
Dry your eyes, mate.
What more do you want? What more do you want from a podcast?
Jane Storr, that's my mum. They know.
Hello, Jane Storr.
For years, our only listener. Her and Nora, my wife. So they know if they can break quickly and we're caught up field, they're odds on to score. And that was the thing about Hull as well. It's just I just felt like that was such a little microcosm. Is that the word? Of everything that we do well and everything and all of our Achilles heels. Because one ball, one pass, and they were in behind for that first goal, and you've got Meslier doing his best impression of Kiko Casilla, headless chicken, trying to be a midfielder.
He doesn't need to come out though. People have said to me, "Oh yeah, it's partly Verba, whatever." Defenders get beat by a long ball. He doesn't need to be fucking there. I mean, Verba, he's literally moves at the pace of a fucking tugboat, doesn't he? But he seems to get there in the end. He's almost like he sort of drags people into his kind of, what do you call it? Like his what's it called in Star Trek? Your tractor beams. He kind of drags people in. I know Middlesbrough got beat a couple of times by that Doak and seemed to get a foot in and block the cross and just leave it. Meslier don't even need to be near it. The second goal we don't even need to talk about. It's fucking embarrassment. Like I say, if they keep, my lads' junior Premier League team on a Saturday, if the keeper gave that goal away, we'd be disappointed. You'd get bollocks, right? And the third one, people go, "Oh well, he should have been marked." Watch Meslier. Just watch him. It's fucking hilarious. He's like a comedy show. He jumps half-cocked. Not even... Look at the size of him. Go up and fucking hit that and hit Rodon and get rid of it. He jumps into the back of Rodon like that, almost hiding, like, I might get away with this one.
And the good things that...
It's just he's awful.
The good things were there as well, though. The good things were there as well. The spirit and the energy that we showed to get back into the game. To get 3-1 up, I think we're all disappointed, frustrated, because we somebody threw the lead away. But there were so many positives, and that's why it felt so good at 3-1, and that's why it's so worrying. And the other thing I think is, a lot of people, a lot of the chat has been around, look, we're top of the league. That's what some of the detractors are saying to the whole dialogue of we need a new goalkeeper. But I'd say we're 3 points from fourth. The margins are so thin. They were so thin last year. I think with a different goalkeeper, we would have gone up automatically. We did get a little bit unlucky last year with Leicester and Ipswich being so far ahead. But we can be that good. With a few little improvements now, we can be as good as Leicester and Ipswich were.
People keep saying, "Oh, well, there's not a Leicester on Ipswich." There is. It's us. We're the Leicester of this year. We beat teams 1-0. We can beat teams, 5-0. We can win 3-2. We've got the lot, right? But the point being, we've got one position, a really, really key position, particularly in the Championship, that is letting us down week in, week out in games that, like you say, fine margins. And he's just so far off the pace that it's embarrassing. So, I mean, I know we can't keep going on about him. It's really hard to shut up about the Tussle, but at the end of the day, it is though. I mean, I can't excuse his lack of focus and concentration and like ability to just athletic ability, body positioning, balance. Everything about him's wrong, and that to me is not a geezer that is training week in week out with a professional team behind him. Something's not being transferred onto the pitch. And I think it's mental with him. Barney's already said it. You know that season in the Premier League, playing in the Bielsa team, where it's frantic and you've got to be really heavily involved all the time. It's had an impact on him in a really negative way, and that's the only defence I can make as a young boy. And let's be honest, he's a human being. But behind all this criticism and critique that we're giving him, and unequivocal kind of slagging off of this young French lad. It's still there's a human being behind all that, and I feel sorry for that person. But I can't feel sorry for a professional sportsman that earns good living that is churning out some of the performances that he is. But I think there is some reasons behind it. Those playing for that Bielsa team where you have to be on it 100 mile an hour, concentrate for 100% of the time at 100 mile. It's difficult, and I think it's like battle fatigue, That's what he looks like to me. He's like snowblind. He's got like post-traumatic stress disorder or something. He's fucking not right in his head, and his focus and everything about him is just way off. And I just can't believe that we're throwing him, professional team are throwing somebody who's clearly not right into the team week in, week out, and we haven't got a backup option. I'm not suggesting Darlow's not a good goalkeeper. I'm sure he is, but clearly there's a problem with trust there because he came in for a brief period last season. I don't know whether Meslier was suspended or whatever, or injured or whatever it was, but he didn't impress, did he? He didn't impress me. I remember thinking, fucking hell, he's worse than Meslier, which is hard to believe. But to sort of go into this season without sorting that problem out is a club problem. You go on about Meslier all you want. He's a young lad at the end of the day. Like I say, he's a human being. The club should recognise surely that there needs to be some changes made in that area. And to be able to pick up a lad that'd be perfect as a lad coming in to be a second at Leeds and potentially earn his shirt, earn that number one shirt. He was the perfect one, and we just let it pass us by again, like we've let numerous 10s pass us by, like we've let numerous 9s pass us by. It's the same old, no matter if it's Orta, Radrizzani, 49ers, fucking Angus Kinnear. It's the same old. We're not changing. I think we're cursed. We can't have nice things, can we? At least.
Right, so you said it was going to be 25 minutes rant on Meslier, sort of tongue in cheek. We're at 33 minutes now. So
we're not very good at times, though. You know what I mean? We know that.
I'm going to come to some comments, right, and then I'm going to get your final words on Meslier, and I'll start with you, Barney.
That's fine.
And then we can move on to the next topic. So, Michael DiCaprio.
Yes, please.
Farke won't drop Meslier. He'll be straight back in after the cup game. It means we've got to outscore our opponents in every game because of him. And Ian Bannister, we have had it now, guys. Yet another season in the Championship.
Nice, like the positivity.
Yeah. He's also called Meslier Meslier. Oh dear. Our defence will have no faith. If you get past the back four, it's as good as a goal. And I think we've given him enough now. Says,
do you know what you should do? You know them things you get outside car showrooms that do that. I'm not doing a very good impression. Do you know them blow up things that kind of do that and got that? Fucking put one of them in there. That'd stop more than.
Righto, Barney, give it your last words on Meslier.
Barney's lost the will to live. He's looking down at his shoes, gazing.
Because I saw this the other day. So it's Meslier is occupational name for someone who kept water over harvest crops. There you go. A little fact for you.
What?
So my last thoughts.
Barney has fucking like you've been on that LSD. I fucking put that through the lens. Yeah,
my last thoughts are we're not going to replace him in January, unfortunately. But for me, the best man to coach him and get the best out of him after what's happened is Farke. So
that's an opinion.
Everybody's got one, like an arsehole. My opinion is we need to replace him. The team have clearly lost faith in him, if they haven't already. Had very little faith in him. Either you've got to trust Darlow and let him grow and make mistakes, which we haven't really got time for. Can Meslier come back in after the cup game and do a job? Possibly, but we're just back where we started. Every time Barney said it, every time we play a team like Blackburn or Hull or somebody they're not interested in what we think of their football style or etiquette, or they'll just aim for him. There's no. If you look at things like corners, set pieces, which I know we've been criticised for a lot recently, then sometimes your keeper will come and take a corner. Sometimes your keeper will come and catch a cross that takes the pressure off, and you get that ironic cheer from the crowd. Hey, you fucking go do what you want. We haven't got that capability because of the goalkeeper we've got in there at the moment. Anything can happen at any given point in the game.
To be fair, Nora's just said everyone's shocked by Barney's positivity. To be fair, that's his trademark, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what he does. That's what Barney does.
We need Barney there to balance Ewan's Prince of Darkness.
Negativity.
I saw this on Reddit the other day. Somebody wrote a lengthy comment, and then at the end of it, I didn't really agree with their comment, but then at the end of it, they said, "It's just my opinion. It's not right or wrong, and neither is your opinion." And that's how they ended it. And I thought, if everybody ended every comment or post on social media with that sentence, aliens might come and visit.
It's like when you're in the office and someone's going to have a rant and they start it off with, "I'm not being funny, but," and you think, here we go.
You're not being funny, you boring bastard. 8-ball Ali's just come out with an absolute belter, Ali. So we need to bring back Big Sam.
Ali, good to see you, Ali. The answer is obvious. The first thing Big Sam did was drop Meslier. So simply, bring back Big Sam.
No.
I think probably just drop Meslier is fine at the moment. Let's not bring back Big Sam just yet.
And Ian's got some heritage here. My granddad played for Leeds. Eddie Bannister, in 1946, and he is turning in his grave.
God rest his soul. God bless him. But he will be. There's keepers I played with on a Saturday and Sunday would be embarrassed by some of the stuff we've seen from Meslier. So, yeah, get him out of the firing line.
Good.
Do something about it. Either trust Darlow. Can't be far behind him, and he can't make as many mistakes or fucking go into the transfer market. We get about a 10. You know what I mean? Aronson's doing fine. We're scoring loads of goals. Yes, we should score more. But if we stop conceding stupid mistakes, like I say, I reckon we'd be at least 9 points better off. So we'd be cruising.
So at 38 minutes, I'm calling it. No more Meslier now. So we can move on.
Yeah, right. Fair.
So you're really at a 10, man. Because to me,
I'm not really at a 10, but it's got to be the right 10, hasn't it?
I can see 3 areas, and I talked about it in the article this week. I can see 3 areas where we need to improve. We've already talked about the first one. The second one is breaking teams down, and we've had such a problem with that. And what Farke does when we can't break down teams that are defending really deep against us is he basically brings off every midfielder and every defender and throws on as many attackers as possible. And so we've got about 6 attackers and wingers on the pitch, and fewer and fewer midfielders and defenders. But we don't have that Pablo Hernandez player, or even a Rutter, who was, similar role but completely different and not really a natural 10. We don't have that natural, creative, attacking, playmaking midfielder that is going to unlock those low blocks. And we tried to replace Ritter before the start of the season. Here's another opportunity. Do you think we need to do it? Barney?
I think it shows that when Aronson isn't playing that great or he doesn't come off, we haven't got that player to replace him. We've got the players, because I think we've got a lot of depth in the squad that we've got, but I don't think we've got a lot of players that can do what Aronson's doing. He can run between the lines. He finds a space. He's always busy. And I know what fans say, he's just running around all the time, but he's always busy and he always finds that.
I'm falling over.
That goal
Don't forget the falling over bit.
Well, to be fair, this season he has got better with that.
He
has got better with that. But I think he's tried to non-toe in the middle as well, and it don't work for me. He's too natural to go outside again. I do think we need a number 10 just to finish the squad off, because I think this is the first time in a fair few years that this squad is really balanced. We've got options on the bench when needed. I mean, the rotation that Farke has done over the Christmas period, I think, has been fantastic. And we haven't really seen a difference in the way we've played or how we've performed against teams either. And I know a lot of fans are saying that look at teams are they're already recruiting now. I mean, Sheffield United are recruited, yeah, but they had teenagers on the bench. That's all they had on the bench. They had no game changer that could change the game the way that we can. I mean, Peru it's not starting every game, but he's probably going to end up being one of our top scorers in the league as well. I mean, Aronson's nearly on double figures now. We've got goals coming from elsewhere now, and finally we've got a midfielder that can score as well, the attacker. So, I don't think we're that far off. I just think maybe a number 10 or like a playmaker would be the icing on the cake just to run into the end of the season.
For me, Peru, he goes missing a lot, but if you give him those high quality chances,
yeah, massively, yeah,
he can finish them, and he does go through. He's a bit of a streaky player, but if you give him those chances, he can put them away. Matt?
I just think it's the who question, and who are you bringing in at this point in the season that's going to be a hit the ground running number 10? People talk about Buendia, he's not played for ages. I'd question his attitude. He's given an opportunity to come to us in the summer, didn't want to come. What's changed? Is he just putting himself in the shop window? Don't want players like that. I'm sure there's others out there, but are they going to hit the ground? We've already talked about Meslier, how big that shirt is, wearing that shirt Ellen Road. It doesn't work for some players. We've seen good players come and not been able to carry that burden. So it's a real risk, and you're not going to buy somebody now, because if we do go up, we probably need a better number 10. Certainly in the Premier League than we would have in the Championship. If we don't go up, what are you bringing in that you're going to have to carry forward or carry wages into next season? I just think it's a real problem, and it's a problem position. If you look at the great number 10s, let's forget about every other team in history. Let's look at Leeds United. How many great sort of playmaker number 10s become a bit of a cliche, hasn't it? That playmaker that can change your game and grab it by the scruff of its neck and win you a game on his own or whatever. There's not many. There's not many. In my lifetime, not many. You kind of look at Kewell, John Sheridan,
Rafinha,
Strachan, Rafinha, yeah. But I mean, you might be able to name a dozen in 45 years that really, could change a game. And I'm not talking about, even Kewell was a bit of a question mark because he drifted in out of games at times. He played out wide. I'm talking about that central position. So Sheridan would certainly be one. Free kicks, set pieces. Hernandez without a doubt would be one.
For a lot of our history, we played 4-4-2. So you'd have more like a second striker than that number 10 slot.
Yeah. And that's why this 10's a bit of a equivocal kind of mess, really, because it's not finite. The 10's become a very popular position recently, but it's that kind of like you've described already. We've got enough out wide. I think we should. You don't need to worry about what we've got out wide. If you've got bringing on Nonto Ramazani, you're fine. It's that central position, and I think in Aronson's defence, and I'm not his greatest fan. If you look at Aronson, right? So we talked about Hamer in the summer. Now I think he plays in a less progressive team, Hamer, right? He's probably got, I don't know, probably as many goals as he's got assists. I'd probably say he's into a dozen, maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 goals from a similar amount of assists. Aronson's weakness for me is the assist bit. He should be assisting more. And it's partly because he wants to dwell on the ball too much. He's not playing that the sort of symptomatic, that inspirational, that instinctive pass. He's holding on to it a bit. He's probably, 7 goals and 2-3 assists, something, Aronson. So that otherwise they're not far apart. You're probably talking, if you add the assists and goals together, Hamer's probably just into double figures. I don't know, 12, 13, 14, and I reckon Aronson must be 9 or 10. So if you're really talking about what difference that's going to make this season, if we'd have brought Hamer in at the start of the season, would it have made a huge difference? Clearly, it's his position, set pieces. He's probably a bit more of a threat. He's got a bit more about him. He's a bit nastier. He's got a little bit more ruggedness about him. But it's a really tough gig to fill, particularly in January where premium is put on the cost of players. You're going to pay a lot more for a player, and there's no guarantee it's going to work. Like I said, if you're asking me right now, would you bring a 10 in? I'd love an amazing number 10, don't get me wrong. Or would you bring a keeper in? Right now, I'll tell you, you know what I'm going to say? I'd bring a keeper in because I think we'll do okay. We're top scorers in the league. We're not okay at the back. We're not, even though we've got statistics that say we don't concede a lot of goals, we don't concede a lot of chances. That's the issue at the moment, isn't it? And it's become exaggerated in the last week.
So Hamer has 6 goals and 5 assists. Aronson has 7 goals and 2 assists. So we're not talking massive difference, but we are talking about chance creation, and that's really what you want from your number 10, don't you? But I mean, what I would say about Aronson is we can see improvement. He's always had potential. Yeah. This season we've seen improvement, and the one thing that you can never criticize is his work rate. Yeah, you can talk about loyalty, how he went to Union Berlin and whatever, but everyone's a little bit like selfish, aren't they? Especially when they're not born in Leeds, and they just wouldn't have that natural loyalty, and it's gone out of the game, as we've talked about many times before. You don't get your Gary Kellys anymore. But we've seen what we want those people in white shirts to do is try their heart out, try their hardest, leave nothing out there. You know what I mean? Just put in everything. Leave the pitch with the sweat drenched in their shirt drenched in sweat and dirt and blood. And that's what he does every single time. So I think he's grown on me massively. I still don't like his spoon shots that he sends into row Z. So there is a question of quality. I think he has a lot of work to do, but you need to have stamina, you need to have pace, especially if we do get up into the Premier League, and you need to run for 95 minutes. So he's definitely got that. Barnes?
No, his work rate's unquestionable. There's no question about it. It's his quality that I would question, and that refined shot, that kind of picking the corner of the net out, passing it into the top corner like Pablo would have done. It's not there. He's snatching at things like you say, that Toblerone boot. It could go anywhere. Shot. It's. I have no question about his effort. I'm not questioning. I think he's beefed up a bit. I think he's stronger on the ball. He's winning a lot of free kicks now because he's getting brought down, because he's physically stronger, rather than people just bullying him off the ball. But as I say, and before Barney jumps in, let me say this: I would have a keeper, and I'd bring it. Ipswich brought Kiefer Moore last year. I'd rather bring in a plan B striker. I'd have a keeper and a plan B, big horrible striker. The kid at Forest who's not getting a game, Anu, whatever he's called, he's got a bit of a strange name. He's big, beefy lad who'll just throw himself about and gets headers, and so we can throw the ball in the box and have a go, because Pirro's not that player. I like Pirro a lot. I think he's a good footballer, great finisher, best finisher at the club without a doubt. He gets that sniffer goal. It's a goal, and it's probably the best penalty taker we've got. But I would dip in for a keeper, and I would dip in for a horrible, old-fashioned, almost battering ram number 9. That'd be what I'd do, and forget about 10, because then everything else will fall into place. Sorry, Barney.
I think with Aronson, with a number 10, you need to be an intelligent player, and I don't think Aronson's that sort of player. Instinctive with the way he plays.
He's fucking thick.
But the thing is, though, with Aronson, sometimes he plays those really good final balls, and then sometimes you just think, don't take that extra touch. But like I said before, I'm not in the position this January window, like I have been thinking, we need that player, we need this player, we need that player. I think we're in a really good place as a squad.
Yeah.
With the injuries this season haven't been as bad as we've experienced over the last few years either. There've been some unlucky injuries, but it's been some knocks or something like that. It's not been. Obviously, we've got Bamford who just needs to be sold, get rid straight away. It's quite convenient that he's got injured during the transfer window as well, I think. That's just my conspiracy theory right there for you. But I don't think that we're that far off with the squad that we've got. And also, I think that the squad's so tight-knit, it's going to take a certain personality to come in and make a difference after January.
Yes. Sorry, I've just been put off by an Ipswich fan in the comments. So let's read some of your comments. So Derek Moore. Evening, Derek. Gents. I'm running late. Good to see you, Derek. What's this? We just need to go at them and make them make mistakes, and a good number 10. Ian Bannister, he also said, let's talk about Meslier again. We've done him. He's done. Stick a fork in him. It's over.
He's already dead. He's already dead.
Is that enough? Maybe in number 10 is Schmidt's position. He just can't get in until Aronson passes out, says 8-Ball Alley. My mum, the original Roaring Peacock fan, agree Aronson has improved, works hard, needs better decision making at times, too many delayed passes. You know what it is with Aronson? To me, it's like he looks like somebody who hasn't grown up playing football every single day of his life. So it's just not quite natural. You know what I mean? He doesn't quite get into the flow. He doesn't quite get that chemistry with his teammates. He sort of has to check himself and look up and think about it, and it just takes a little bit too long, and he can't really get in the flow. But what he does is he drives the high press and that out of possession work rate, and that can be so important to the motivation. That can be infectious among the squad. It can make other players work harder, lift their game. It can lift the crowd. So he really does do a lot. And can I just say, so even though we've only got 15 people on YouTube, we've actually got 329 people watching across different platforms. So I think that's mostly on Twitter. So thanks very much.
Imagine if we did this every fucking week and we promoted it and we did any of the things that normal podcasts do. It'd be amazing.
Imagine if I wasn't doing a master's degree. Imagine if somebody paid me to do this.
Imagine if Barney was wanking himself into a frenzy at work. It'd be fucking amazing, wouldn't it?
I reckon it'd be the most well-run council.
The gritters would be out and everything on time. It'd be amazing.
Have you looked up the names of gritters, by the way? I saw this.
No, I don't want to know.
Gary Gritter, for example.
Oh dear.
Bad, yeah.
Oh dear.
That's a bit grim, that, isn't it? I'm trying to think once myself now. I need to stop.
Righto. So the comment in question was by what appears to be an Ipswich fan. Didn't know they had them, but Divano JRV says Rodon on his way to Wolves.
No, it's fake news.
So,
I've just had a look. They were linked with him about 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago. It's not happening.
He's still mad. He's still salty from the summer because Rodon turned Ipswich down. I mean, what do you want? You've got Leif Davis, you got Calvin Phillips,
but she destroyed as well.
Jack Clark.
Who else do you want?
Yeah, fuck him. Anyway, so let's not talking about fucking bottom of the Premier League sides. Do you know what it is with Rodon? Rodon, I love Rodon because he was one of them that was like, no, put me on the pictures with the new kit on. I'm definitely coming. I belong here. Do you know what I mean? And like we talked about Gary Kelly and people like you don't get loyalty in kind of people who get it like that normally. It doesn't mean he won't leave at some point. I'm pretty sure if we don't go this season, he may well do. But I can't see him leaving halfway through the season. I can't see Strike leaving either halfway through the season. No. Finish what you've started. And those two are massive for us. You know, they've been superb throughout and protected he who we shall not mention on numerous occasions where he's hardly had to do anything. And that's why we get so many clean sheets. It's nothing to do with Meslier. Shit.
And here's my outrageous take. Strike is the best player for Leeds United.
Wow.
Facts.
Facts.
I don't think it's outrageous. Facts. Ricky Gervais back in the office. No, I think he's massive for us. He's huge. You know the way he plays, the way he carries the ball. We definitely don't look the same team without him.
And I think that's why it's good when he plays. So it's sort of like because don't forget he's probably played with Meslier for. I know we mentioned him again, but he's probably played with Meslier for quite a few years now because of the under-21s as well. And I think Strike sort of knows how to like calm him down and like just be on the ball all the time. Like, just don't be a dickhead today, all right, kind of thing. Like, you know, someone just has a quiet word with you. Look, you're being a bit of a dickhead today. Just calm it down. I think he.
I don't get that. Nobody ever says that
to me. I get it all the time.
Milan Chip 2 says, is Meslier the worst keeper in the Championship? No, he's 17th. And we're not talking about him anymore. So that's it.
I'm done now. It's finished.
The last thing I wanted to say on the January transfer window is a set piece coach. Please, for the love of God, get a set piece coach. If anybody is watching from Leeds United, which they clearly aren't, they're probably not.
Probably not.
Set piece coach, please. We've had one in 106 years, and that was Gianni Vaio. You know, we need to put we get more corners than anybody else in the league. We concede fewer corners than anybody else in the league. 58% of the goals that we've conceded are from set pieces.
From corners, yeah.
Get a set piece coach. A third of goals are scored from set pieces. We are absolutely useless. The delivery has improved a little bit with Rothwell. It's incremental, but it has improved. Yeah. He is good at taking set pieces. Now we need to work on the second and third bits, which is heading the ball into the goal. And then, if you don't do that, then second phases, second balls. Get to that second ball because we're beaten to it every time.That's my gripe.
Yeah, it's poor. I mean, I think the Championship's probably a division. I think anything below the Premier League, set pieces are huge out there in regards of goals and what have you. And there's something not right with the whole setup, the way we attack the ball. I mean, the fact that Rodon scored his first goal the other day is embarrassing for me. You know, those big centre halves in that division. You look at Cresswell and people like that. You know, went to Millwall, scored like 3 or 4 goals in his first half of some games. You know, you need a big centre half who's going to go and do it, and also just midfielders like Strachan's who pick up the ball when it comes back out, second ball, and hit one straight into the top corner. You know, Hernandez could do that. It's not just about coach; it's about capability, and I just think we haven't got many players who can hit a decent long shot. You know, Tanaka's goal obviously the other day was overshadowed by the performance of he who shall not mention anymore. But that's a one-off really. He's not going to do that, 12 times, 11 times a season, is it? So I just think that we lack a lot of basic components to make set pieces a lot more of a threat. And delivery's been better, but let's be honest, it couldn't get much worse. So it just looks a lot better now than it did, but it's been poor.
Derek said we've got a team of 50 pence heads.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, yeah, that's it then. So only enough time for what is your thing. First thing of 2025. Barnes?
Yeah, go on, man.
Don't know. Nothing. I like watching Touch of Frost at the moment. There you go. And also a new thing. Actually, I've got into modern stuff now. So a new thing that started last night. It's called Patience. It's on Channel 4. It's set in York. It's like a sort of a forensic sort of detective program. It's really good. Recommend it. It's good. It's about a girl. It's about a girl who's got autism, and she manages to solve sort of crimes by how she is. So it's good so far. It's on again tonight.
I thought you were going to say Murder, She Wrote.
No, never got into that.
Yeah. Okay.
I never liked it. Do you know why? Well, because when the A-Team used to be on a Saturday afternoon, but when the A-Team wasn't on, it was always Murder, She Wrote, and it was not the same whatsoever.
I've literally, I'm not being funny, my missus is literally waving a shovel at me.
She's going to bury you.
Don't be coming in. Fucking hell, it's finally come to pass. I'm live on the podcast and you're waving a shovel at me in the door. Apparently a car's stuck outside and I'm like, fuck off, I'm busy doing the podcast. Fucking dig your own car. Fuck's wrong with you, man? Yeah, it's finally all my premonitions have come to pass. She's going to hit me with a shovel and bury me. Fucking Trevor Jordan me in the backyard and fucking bury me on the patio. Yeah, do you know, Matt, so I've got a couple. I was going to ask you how your Christmas was, but I was ill for quite a lot of it, right? Which I was really fucking pissed off about because I worked really hard this year. I was looking forward to Christmas. So I basically lived, as much as I hate cats, you're going to like this, Barney, I lived the Christmas like a cat when all I did was eat, sleep and shit and piss, and that was about it. And lick my own balls in front of the fireplace every now and again. So, yeah, I
won't go out if I could do that, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I removed the ribs to make sure I could, get down there. But yeah, so my thing is, well, obviously I've got the cinema room now, so I've developed a cinema room at home. So I've been watching loads of films and stuff on the big screen. So that's my thing. But if I was going to encourage you to watch a couple of things, Sexy Beast series. The Rogue SAS, BBC iPlayer's back on, second series, really good. So I've just been watching a lot of telly and kind of getting into that. And obviously Traitors is back on, which I quite like. Wiggy'll definitely be watching that. So yeah, there's a lot of decent telly on.
There is, because soon Gladiators is back on BBC One. Great family TV.
Oh, God.
Barney, Bullseye was back, Barnes. Can't believe you didn't mention that.
I was texting my best mate about it. He said, I won't let you know what I think. So I watched it. It was a little bit too polished. And the amount of times there was Luke Littler on all the time. And I'm like, this isn't what it was about.
He's too good. He's too good, Luke Littler.
He's not fair, he's not 17. No way.
It's no chance. If he, I tell you what it is with the Bullseye thing. Flintoff's not the right presenter for it. I love Freddie Flintoff, but he's not the right presenter for it. You need somebody who's really on PC. So, Jim Bowen used to just some of the stuff he used to come out with that girl that said she was at Slimmer's World and how much do you owe her? How much do you owe her? You need somebody who's really probably me. In fact, I'm auditioning for the part of just go on there and say what you think. No filter and just upset a few people and. It was average. There's no life behind it.
It was very much like trying to make something that was like from 30 years ago, far too polished. It was just a bit nerfed. It didn't work for me. But Gladiators is good. Gladiators is good though.
Darts was on a lot of Christmas, by the way, right? So I watched a bit because again I wasn't 100% for quite a lot of Christmas, so I found myself gravitating to watching vegetative stuff on the sofa, which Darts is quite easy to watch in it, it's like what do you think to darts crowds? Because I've heard people say best crowds in the world. What's your thoughts on darts?
I think I would be dead because by what I've seen, I don't really watch a lot of darts, but I think you basically have to be a career pisshead, which I'm nearly quite bordering on that already. I think it would probably knock me over the edge. And also, being dyslexic at maths, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, if I had to play it, I'd be there all night trying to, like, what do I need now? Right, what do I, right? I just, no.
It's a weird crowd, isn't it? Because you know they're not really like they're not partisan. It's not like there's teams or anything. They're cheering for both players, and also they sing the sort of same songs over and over again. So I think the first few. So I watched a lot of jazz. I basically had the same Christmas you had, Matt. Is that I got extremely sick as soon as the assessment finished. I just absolutely collapsed. I think I'd been sick and just suppressing it, and then I slept for like 30 hours off and on. 15, but I basically couldn't get out of bed. I was sweating. So you probably don't. It's a bit too much information, did it? But that's how it was. And then I was just
Which part of it was sweating?
Everything.
Which part was sweating the most?
Everything.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, everywhere.
Not enough information for me. Not enough information for me.
And just vegetating, like you said, burping and farting and eating and watching the darts. And I watched a lot of darts. I think the first few times, like, I've never really watched darts, to be honest. I watched the final last year because of all the hubbub. And then I watched the PDC World Championship this year, or back end of last year, sorry. And the first few times you see this crowd, you're like, oh, that looks it's a bit of a novelty. And then by the third time I saw it, I just thought, they sing the exact same things over and over again. The people there, I mean, no offense but I mean, and
it's not my.
And
I think it's probably mine and your worst nightmare.
You would need to be drunk. And me now that I'm a teetotaler, I think it would the novelty would wear off.
I can imagine you sat in the corner like, can we go now?
Yeah. You know what though? The spectacle of darts is great. As you think about, what it is really. It's blokes throwing 3 darts at a dartboard, but it's actually really good, and it's great to watch on telly. It's the sort of thing that you think that'd be no good watching on telly. It's really good. The crowd, man, fucking hell, it drives me nuts. It's like my worst nightmare. I'm not a teetotaler, as you both well know. That is my worst fucking nightmare. Being confined to a hall for hours at a time on a table.
You can imagine the smell.
Dickheads dressed as fucking. Yeah, just the dickheads dressed as Luigi and Mario.
It's the best.
Dressed
It's
as
the Otley run, isn't it? It's
confined into a room though you can't get away, and like you singing the same 4 songs over and over again all the time. And if you don't sing, you get the boring table. It's like if I'd end up fucking cheating somebody me, it's like I just know exactly how that day would end up being.
I think I'd quite enjoy it actually. So it's £5 a pint, which is pretty good value. Or you can get a picture for £20.
She's looking up for it. That's where we're going. Live from Ali Pally next year. Podcast. Yeah.
I'd definitely
both sessions last 3 to 4 hours. I could probably get 20 pints in there. At least.
See, now you talk about yourself being dyslexic with numbers. You've done some very quick maths there.
He's good at that kind of maths. He's not struggling. He's not got dyscalculia there, has he? He's straight in. 5 pints, 4 hours, 20 back. Yeah, right. I mean, you haven't got dyscalculia. It's like the 4th R, isn't it? Relevance. As long as you make it about beer and alcohol, you'll be fine, aren't you?
Right.
How many volumes of pints would you have had in that time, Barney? Boom, fucking Einstein, like Rain Man all of a sudden.
Probably 8 pints before a game, so yeah.
You need 8 pints for a game. You think Mellier's had fucking 9 before a game?
Stinks of farts in the ground.
Yeah, anyway, I don't know why I asked that question, but it's shit. It's absolutely shit. I don't think it's my worst nightmare going at darts.
I love how...
A, I don't like fancy dress, and B, I don't like drinking like that, and C, fucking singing the same shit songs over and over again all day. It's just.
I love how we've gone from
Wow.
it was good. I was watching the darts. Yeah, it was not bad. Not bad darts, is it? What do you think of darts? To it's shit. No, it's fucking shit. It's
on the
shit.
telly.
I'm never go there.
No, I like the telly. I like it on the telly. I think it's amazing. But I've turned the sound down a few times over Christmas just because can't bear listening to, like you said, to those same 8 songs being sung over and over again.
Stand up if you love the darts.
Fuck off. Sit down if you're a massive cunt.
And on that bombshell.
Right, yes. So, final few comments then. Millen Chip has called your wife Rain Woman. But he also says Sexy Beast, the TV series, is bad. Don Logan is a whinging wimp. Don't watch the movie first. There you go. You found a new best friend there.
The movie's great.
Ewan?
Yeah, I think we've got difference of opinion.
Yeah. What was the phrase? It's just my opinion. It's not right or wrong, and neither is your opinion. Brilliant. It gets better every time.
I'll take that.
It's almost like I feel like I want to have it on a T-shirt or tattoo it on my forehead.
Well, I said something about that Rogue SAS, which I think is really good. I quite like it, and it's not like a true story as such, but it is about how the SAS started, and it's kind of it always says this is not a history lesson, but it's based on a true story. And somebody slagged me off saying, "Oh, the Northern Irish guy is the way he delivers his lines and his voice is so great." It's like that's Northern Irish people. I love how he delivers his lines. So it's just an opinion thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just going back to that quote, are you still decorating at home?
Me? Oh.
So what you can, people used to have quotes on the wall, like in italic, and it used to be like "Love Life"
the wallpaper. We had it. It said "Ploppy loves the whippet."
Ah.
And then there was a phone number. And
of course there was.
It was a pre-1970s phone number.
So it would have been. Oh yeah, that'd be right. Yeah, that's.
Oh no! In fact, 01523.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, I'm fucking old enough to remember the proper ones. Yeah, the real dialing.
Real
codes,
0113.
01523 Leeds.
So you could go back to like changing rooms. Do you remember changing rooms with Carol Smiley? And they used to do all like the things on the wall with the italics, but they used to use gold leaf.
Oh yeah, live, laugh, love.
Yeah, so you could put that quote with gold leaf on. It looked really classy. That it just sets it off.
Why the?
It'll just like set the room off. Lovely, lovely.
I reckon the neon sign outside the front door.
When you were asking, the fucking don't do that in Bramley, you'll get some right fucking passing trade. You know, when you're on about he decorating still, it fucking it's like Petrocelli's house. You decorating fucking forever. Have you seen the size of that gap? It's fucking huge.
Righteous One says, if you can do it in jeans with a beer belly, it's not a sport. Sorry.
Fucking hell, tell that to Joel Pirro.
Hey,
he plays that. He's fucking doing that every week.
Derek Moore, I didn't know dyslexic at maths was a thing.
Dyscalculia, your mum's already put him there. Yeah, there you go.
And also, that really pissed me off. You dyslexic, but why did they make that word so hard to spell?
Just to piss you off, Barney.
Anyway.
You learn something new every day, says Derek.
Derek's been coming long enough to know you should know that by now, Derek.
My mum says this is an educational podcast. Righteous One said it stinks of farts in the crowd as well.
What is that on the podcast or the darts? I'm not quite sure.
I think it's darts, farts. Was it a play on words? Is it Cockney rhyming slang? Stinks of the farts, the darts.
Yeah. Stand up if you love the farts.
Yeah. Somebody said something about film football to farts, says Derek. This is the one. This is the best comment. So things always veer off near the end of these podcasts. Love it. We love it too when it goes a bit off-piste. Natural progression. In fact, we've actually gained viewers since we stopped talking about Leeds United, and
I've told you this every week. Why the fuck do we do this, right? I've told you now. Always start with, let's do like half an hour. I'll tell her now. And your mum will love this. I'll tell you for why. Because people want to hear about your lives and get into it. So I think first half an hour we should do this. We should do what we've been doing at my thing, all that kind of stuff. Diatribe, tell stories, and then move on to Leeds United later on. Because you know what's going to happen? 45 minutes into the podcast, we won't mention Leeds United and get more viewers. It'll be more buoyant. It'll be much more upbeat. Fucking Leeds United depressed me. Fucking hate them. Fucking hate Leeds United. It's the best Leeds United podcast on the air. But honestly, I think we should do it differently. I've told you this before.
We'll try it. Yeah.
You heard it here first, viewers.
We can try it.
Well, yeah, put it out to the viewers. What do the viewers think? Should we have the 4 viewers? Should we have half an hour of bullshit and talking what we've been doing all week, which could get very interesting in my case, and I'm sure in Barney and
more
Donny's
litigious,
case. Absolutely more litigious and nefarious stuff, and then go on to Leeds United for 5.
You could just say it, Babs.
Or the other way around.
You just say it.
Don't type in the group. I need a piss.
I need a piss.
Just let it go.
That's it.
I'm at that age now.
I'm just watching my missus. Oh no, it's not. It's one of my sons. Why don't you go out with your mum?
Michael DiCaprio, Peacock, Silo, and The Rig are a good watch.
Not his real name.
Yeah, well, Nora says that's how the Peacock Interior Design podcast was born. Brilliant.
There you go.
And we've already grieved about Meslier's baguette fingers. We'd rather hear your eclectic chats. See, when we used to pre-record the pod, and then I would write the title of the pod after the fact. Baguette fingers is the exact type of title I'd be going for. Right, that's it.
Correct.
That is it.
Fuck off.
Don't change you guys' equality.
We're back in another month.
What's that could happen?
Let's experiment like it.
Pissing is a human right, so we better let Barney go.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you after the playoff final. Good night.
Yeah.
Quarterfinal. We only played Harrogate.
I thought we're doing this every fortnight. We haven't even touched on the Harrogate FA Cup final. Go on, quick one result.
It's a Barney derby, isn't it?
Oh, true.
It is a Barney derby, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the A61 derby.
So I think we'll beat them 3-0.
Right.
Yeah. I think we're going out. We're going to get beat 1-0. Meslier, front post. Howler.
So you're saying Harrogate 3, Leeds 0, Barney? Is that what you're saying? When you say
Leeds.
we.
Yeah,
we're saying. No, in fact, Melier's not playing until the final. Yeah. All right, we'll win this.
Yeah, I reckon 2-1. I think Harrogate will put up a big fight. It is their cup final anyway. Right, that's it. That's it.
Go on.
See you soon.
Are we doing it more regular though now? Every couple of weeks, yeah?
Every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, unless...
Right. Lovely. Keep watching.
Go on, Leeds.